Hi, Paul here from Trekitt, and we're out today on this slightly misty day, but nevertheless a lovely day to be out in the woods. I'm here with the dogs and with Harry to talk to you about the new Altus packs from Lowe Alpine. Now the Altus packs are a real do-it-all general purpose pack. They're not what you would call an uber lightweight pack, and they're not a super strong massive sort of backpacking pack either. They sit really well in the middle as a kind of do-it-all pack for those people who want great stability, great comfort, massive features, and just a really comfortable, stable pack to carry for longer day walks, or even for 2 to 3 nights out, maybe doing a bit of hut to hut or some wild camping. The packs are big enough to take pretty much all you need. They would also work equally well for a bit of world travel. So they're a real workhorse, they're a do-it-all pack, a kind of general purpose pack for people who want something well made, comfortable and packed full of features. So this is the Altus 52 to 57 litre. It's made from a mixture of 2 different weights of fabric. So you get a combination of a lightweight 210 denier nylon and also a much heavier weight 450D nylon with a tough ripstop running through it. And what they've done, Lowe Alpine have done, is they've combined those 2 fabrics together to keep the weight at a sensible weight. So like I said before, it's not super lightweight, but it is light enough to carry to be comfortable, but you've got the reassurance of that heavy duty fabric. And when you look through the pack, it's plain to see where those heavy duty areas are. So across the front of the pack here is the heavy duty, down the sides and over the pockets is the lighter weight fabric. You've got heavier duty on the bottom of the hip belt fins here and also on the base of the pack. So anywhere where the pack is going to be subjected to a little bit more abrasion and wear and tear and regular usage, you get the heavier fabric. The rest of the pack, they use the lighter weight fabric. So well designed with a good use of fabrics. The fabrics are all treated with a DWR, so that's a durable water repellent. And that basically means that when you get caught in the rain beads off the fabric, runs off, and the pack will dry quicker. The pack isn't, however, waterproof. There's very few packs out there that can make that claim. But just in case it really does start to come down, there is a rain cover tucked away in the bottom of the pack here, which fixes over securely. I'll show you that feature later. So you're made from a good mixture of lightweight and super tough nylons for a good, reliable, durable performance. Where the magic happens for the Lowe Alpine Altus packs is in this new Air Contour Plus back system. It's a really clever back system. It's got lots of features and it's designed to carry reasonable weights, heavy weights even, in comfort and with stability, while still providing plenty of ventilation and comfort. Comfort being the big key here. I'm going to probably overuse that word, but it really does apply to this pack. It's just super comfortable to wear. So what you've got here is you've got your main panel here with a stable foam running up down through the back of the back with a big air ventilation channel through the middle. And you'll notice on here as well, Harry will do some close-ups later, that you've got cutouts for ventilation, and then that whole panel is overlaid with a mesh, so it just allows it to sit slightly away from your back, giving a little air gap there. It's not a trampoline back system like you see with these big curves, but there is a curve here to follow the contours, and it does allow airflow to move throughout. Then moving up to the shoulder straps, you've got foam reinforced here, and you've got a strengthening section right through the middle of the shoulder strap, and that section has got die cut holes in it to allow for ventilation. So lots of air moving around the sack. And then all these contact areas, so the areas that maybe going to be if you've just got a light base layer on, or even just over something soft and light, these are lined with a really nice quick drying fabric that helps to pull the moisture from you if you're sweating heavily, and just makes it a lot more comfortable. And that continues down through the hip belt as well. We'll get to the hip belt in a minute. And then over the top of the shoulder straps, again, areas that you're going to get maybe some abrasion from constantly doing buckles or moving it around, picking the pack up. You've got this nice heavyweight nylon overlay over the top. So you've got this multi-layered approach which provides comfort, ventilation and durability. So down to the hip belt, the most fundamental part of any pack carrying system. This is where the majority of your weight needs to be stabilised, or is around the hips. And Lowe Alpine have developed, again, a multi-layered approach to this. So you've got 3 layers of fabric or materials. You've got a stiffer section, which provides the stability and support over the top of the hips. Then you've got a lighter layer, softer layer for cushioning to allow it to mould around. Then you've got this soft, wicking, quick drying fabric, soft fabric on the inside for ultimate comfort. And this really is a beefy old hip belt. You can see that this pack is really designed to carry some good weight in here, and it's going to provide lots of stability, lots of support without being overly heavy. It's a really good back system. It comes in 2 different back lengths. So you get a medium large, which is 48 to 53 centimetres. And then the large, extra large, comes in a 53 to 59 centimetres. So bear in mind that's the back length, okay? So that's your torso length. Now, I'm 6'3", so if you've seen my clothing videos before, you'll know that I'm tall, I'm 6'3", but all my height is in my legs, basically. So I've got a relatively short back. So the natural kind of thinking would be, blimey, you're 6'3", you're going to need the large, extra large. But no, the rucksack back length that you choose is determined by your torso length. And we've got a video here that Hannah did with Harry, and it tells you how to fit your rucksack beautifully. So make sure you're measuring your torso and using that as a guide for the fit rather than your overall height. And also, just to be able to fine-tune the fit even more, there's the shoulder harness is attached into the back system via this Velcro patch here, which is easy to undo, and you can adjust the back up and down. You've got a few centimetres of adjustment here. We've got quite a lot actually. If I slacken these straps off, you can see this will come right out like that. And the really nice thing when you're adjusting this pack is that when you're pushing this up and down, it stays absolutely level. It doesn't twist, it doesn't turn. It's really easy to adjust. Just slide it up and down like that. There's no twisting, so you can always be sure that the shoulder harness is going to be in the right position, whatever height you've adjusted it to. So you've got handy little stitch marks on there if you want to just sort of get a gauge of where it needs to be. So you've got your torso, 2 different back lengths, and then you've also got that adjustment as well on the shoulder harness, so you can be sure you can get a really customized, perfect fit for your pack to make sure it carries beautifully and you remain comfortable. It's as simple as that. Within the air contact back system, the thing that really makes it super strong and stable is an internal alloy frame that sits behind all this padding and ventilation. Now the beauty of that is it transfers the weight superbly down through into the hip belt. It's like in a shape, goes round like that. But it does mean that you can actually get the pack over your knee and give it a bit of a bend to custom fit it to suit your back. If you've got a particularly curved back or you just want to avoid a stress point, you can actually give this a bit of a custom bend. But it does make the pack particularly stable and particularly strong. You can see there's a bit of flex in there to allow it to move with you, but very strong, very stable. Okay, so that was the back system. So let's go through the features of the pack. And this really is feature packed. You get oodles of storage space and handy little gadgets and gizmos to keep all your stuff secured and well contained within the pack and easily accessible. So what we've got here, we've got the 52-57 litre pack, and I've packed this with pretty much everything that I would need for a multi-day backpacking trip up in the mountains. Overall weight, I've got a litre of water here. Overall weight, I guess that's around 8 to 10 kilos. So a sensible weight. You know, I've got reasonable kit in here. So we'll go through and show you the features and give you some idea of what your storage capacity is going to look like. So starting right up at the top, let me just spin that round. You've got a zip pocket up at the top here, so quick access. And in here, in my trusty dry bags, I've got things like my water filter, I've got my head torch, my compass, my GPS, things that I need to get to really, really quickly and easily. And then underneath there, let's spin that back round. If I open up the 2 main buckles on the 2 straps here, lift the lid back, you've got your normal SOS panel on the top there, and then you've got another zip pocket on the inside. I've got the obligatory emergency bag in there. And there's also a key clip. You can get your keys on there, keep them safe. So SOS panel, key clip, extra storage in there. And then you've got a top tensioning strap, which comes right over the top here with this nice tensioning panel which closes the top up really nicely. Unclip that, and you've got this dual access valance here, and this is why the pack is quoted as having 52 to 57 litres, because if you wanted to get extra storage, you could extend this red valance here up at the top and give yourself an extra 5 litres of storage. Really handy if you just got a few bits and pieces extra that you want to carry, or some bulky items you put up at the top. And then the lid will extend. There's 2 buckles on the back, so the lid will extend right up, and you can lift that right over the top, and you can get that extra storage protected and sealed in there. So nice and versatile, nice and neat. Simple draw cord closure and entry. Dual draw cord, so if you're not using that extra space, you've got a draw cord here which tightens it around the top of the pack, and obviously you've got the draw cord for the valance. So this is worth a mention, the top section here, you've got this lovely strap over the top which you can use for storing ropes, etc. Pulls it in nicely, compresses the top. Then underneath you've got this dual draw cord system, and it looks a bit, at first glances it looks a bit tricky to use, but simply they've attached this blue tape here to the quick release buckle and a loop at the back. So if you literally just pull those 2 loops away from each other, it instantly opens up the draw cord, and the same on the top here. So grab the top loop on the buckle and the corresponding loop at the back, and literally just pull them apart, and it really quickly and easily opens up the pack. And then down on the front of the pack, you've got this large panel here, this large panel pocket with like a reinforced strap area across the front here, which makes getting your hand in really easy. So it just keeps that slightly open. So you've got this massive big stash panel down the front, and I don't know if you can see, Harry will do a close-up later, my finger poking out the bottom there. So you've got a drainage hole down the bottom. So this is a really good place to put like wet over trousers, maybe a wet tent, fly sheet, something like that. You're moving on day after day and you don't want to put wet kit inside your bag. You can stuff it down in here, and you know that it's going to drain out and it's going to air really nicely. And then on the front of that big stash pocket, you've got another zip here. So you get another massive pocket on the outside. Just useful again for things that you need to get to quickly, or things to keep out of the way. Just nice and useful. Okay, and then these red bits down the front of the pack here, these are actually accessory loops, daisy chains, whatever you want to call them. So if you wanted to create your own bungee attachment system, you could lace that onto the front here. Maybe you wanted to put a roll mat section or something on the front, or tent poles or something, you could create your own additional storage on there. So nice and useful and versatile. And then down this side of the pack, you've got a massive great zip, which literally just opens the pack out. So if you've got the top closed and you know that you want to get to your sleep mat, for instance, there it is. You're going to pull that out. You can get that nice and quickly and easily without having to delve down through the whole contents of the pack, without having to rummage around in the bottom. I can even get right down the bottom here. There's my spare insulation. I can get that out nice and quickly and easily, so you can really easily see what's inside the pack. And also the way that I use the dry bags also helps to identify the content. So you open that up and you know that everything's going to stay dry. We've written a blog about tips about using dry bags for packing. So again, Harry will put a link through to that blog. Some good advice and some good tips to keep your contents dry and organised, so you can readily get to things you need to. Okay, so back to the features. Whilst we're here, you can see you've got stretch mesh pockets on the side with compression straps over the top. So there's the trusty Trekitt bottle tucked away inside there. And a really nice feature is the way that they've used the lighter weight nylon in like a panel over the top of here, so that the compression strap isn't rubbing against the lighter weight mesh fabric, because that fabric is prone to damage. Obviously it's lightweight, it's meshy, you're going to catch it on rocks or trees or anything, it's going to snag. So this extra layer protects, but it also acts to compress really well because it's attached via the compression strap. So when you pull that strap in, it wraps round and locks that in place. It's a really neat little feature, that. Exactly the same on the other side. So you've got your mesh pocket with your overlay on the top there. There's no side access from this side, so as you're looking at the pack that way, the zip's on this side. And then you've got your 2 hip belt pockets Nice big stretchy mesh pockets. I've got a bit of nosh in there, snacking away as I go along. And the nice thing about these pockets is that when you've got the hip belt on and you've got it really locked up nice and tight, you can still access the pocket because they are slightly three-dimensional in shape, and because the mesh is stretchy, you can still get to the contents. On some packs, it's really annoying. You do the hip belt up really tight, you can't get in the pocket because it's stretched the zip too much and stretched the pocket. But not these. They've actually thought about it and it works really, really well. There is the obligatory hydration sleeve on the inside with an access point down onto the shoulder straps for the hydration, so fully hydration compatible. And then you can see that we've got our walking poles attached onto the front of the pack, onto the side of the pack, sorry, here. And these are attached using Lowe Alpine's tip grippers. So these are tucked away into a little pocket when you're not using them, and then they pop out and secure the pole when you need to. And then up at the top on this top compression strap, you've got a little loop that you can create just by grabbing this bit of plastic. Again, we'll do some close-ups on this. And that just allows you to quickly and easily get the poles on and off. Just slide that through. Do your compression strap back up. You can pop the tip gripper, back up inside, tuck it out the way. And the eagle-eyed of you will have noticed there's also another piece of plastic down the bottom here, and that is for ice axes. That simply attaches like so. So again, you create your little loop up at the top in your compression strap to hold the shaft of the axe, and then this piece goes through the eye of the pick and just secures the axe like so. So really quick, simple, easy to use with gloves. You've got great attachment points here that are not too fiddly, easy to use with great big sort of winter mountaineering mitts on. On the 52 litre pack, what makes this particularly useful for multi-day treks, hut-to-hut work, that kind of thing, is that you do get a separate base compartment. So you can unzip the two clips at the bottom here, and you've got a zipped compartment right the way around here. Open that up, and you can see I've got my sleeping bag in there. So that's quite a, that's not a super lightweight compact. That's a Mountain Equipment Matrix 3 season sleeping bag. Plenty of room for that in there. And then inside there is a zip round diaphragm which splits the two compartments up. So if you weren't using that for a sleeping bag, again, you could put wet, grotty kit in there, dirty clothing, that kind of thing. Keep it separate from the pack's main compartments. Or you can just unzip this. You've just got a little zip on the inside here. You can zip this all the way around, like so. There we go. And then you get straight into the main pack, so you could just have one large compartment all the way through. It's up to you, depends what your preferences are. It just makes it versatile and again easy to access the contents of the pack. So as well as the larger Altus 52-57, we also stock the Altus 42-47. So basically it carries exactly the same feature set as the larger pack. So it's got the same back system, it's got the same back length, two different sizes in the back, same pocket configuration. It's obviously just a bit smaller. But the big difference here is that you don't get a separate entrance into the pack through the base, but you can still divide the pack. And when we first heard that, we thought, well, what's the point of dividing the pack if you can't get in through the bottom? But Lowe Alpine have very cleverly created a system that makes that possible. So underneath the main stash pocket, you remember on the 52 there was a side entry zip. Well, on the 42 you get, let me just undo this, find the zip pullers. They're up at the top here. You get this U-zip which goes all the way around the front of the pack, which means you can open it up completely, almost like a suitcase, and see the entire contents of the pack. So access the bottom compartment, big main zip round, and you can see here the red section. This just unzips like so. So if you keep the two zip pullers either side of this handy little stitch line, that creates the flap to get into the base compartment. Let me just take everything out. And then you can unzip it all the way down. You can just pull it because they're free flow zips, tuck that away, and that gives you one great big compartment. So that's it, that's the Altus from Lowe Alpine. The one I've got on is the 52-57 with all my kit in it. Feels fantastic, really comfortable. Also available in the 42, 47. Harry will put the link up here so you can have a look at the full details on the website. And as usual guys, if you've got any comments or questions, pop them into the section below. It's always good to hear from you. So I'm going to round the dogs up wherever they are and go off for a bit of a yomp. This is really comfy. See you guys again soon. Toodaloo.